Green Tea here. I wanted to put together this video to go over my thought process when it comes to the loadouts. And this is for the newer guys and guys that have been playing for a little while. And I hope this can really help you out in terms of setting up your loadouts and being quicker at the resupply boxes for different engagements and different maps. So on the right hand side, we've got co-op, day, security, and that's what me and my Team Ronin Online buddies like to play a lot. So first up, we'll go to the rifleman. On the right hand side here, you'll notice that I've got three basic loadouts: assault, defense, and distance. And assault is, as the name implies, you're going on the offensive. You're making the assault on the objective. And I've got the M4 loaded out heavy here. I've got 1 power Cobra, but with a 2 power scope on the back. That gives me that option to go to have more distance if needed. Got a loading grip, allows for quicker reloads, and a flat top. That's the front iron sights. I took that off of there because when you're looking through the Cobra, the 1 power optic, I don't want to see anything in front of that. I just want a clean, open view there. I've got the L106A1. That's, I believe that's a 6-hour 226. That number there is a civilian designation, but I can't remember all the numbers SIG has. I get confused. I've got a quick draw holster on that, so whenever I run out of ammunition for my M4, I can quickly go to my sidearm. First up in the explosives category is the flashbang, and then after that I got the ensign. Now here's the thing, my thought process behind this is that I put that flashbang in the first category, in the first slot, and that's because both of these are require the same press. So if you press 3, your flashbang is going to go up, and you have to press 3 again to get to your incendiary device. Excuse me, to get to your ensign. So that can take a lot of time. I don't want to reverse that. So the flashbang is when I'm needing to make a quick entry or just in a hurry on a stack up and trying to make a quick flashbang and clear into that room. The ensign is in that second slot because usually you've cleared the objective or cleared most of the objective. You got a little bit more time to be able to press that number 3 key twice. Light carrier, light armor, and gas mask. Usually always roll with that because you never know what the bad guys are going to throw at you. So I've got a light carrier, light armor, and that allows you to move faster. The heavier your equipment, the heavier carrier, heavier armor, the slower you are. Defense, I've got the AKM, and that only takes up 3 slots there, 3 equipment slots, as well as your Cobra optic there, so I've got a nice clean view. But then here you'll notice I've got everything loaded out with Molotovs, all Molotovs. Heavy carrier, heavy armor, because as defense, I'm expecting to hold out in one spot. I want to point out something about the Molotovs here. So you've got your M14 ensign, and then you got your Molotov. Both have the same purpose, and I use them a lot for area denial. But the Molotov, the difference between the M84 or the M14 and the Molotov here is that the M14 has a tendency to bounce. So if you're trying to deny a doorway or a stairwell, that can bounce further beyond the doorway and allow a gap for the enemies to get into. And that's with the ensigns, and that's why I usually prefer the Molotovs. The Molotovs explode on impact, and so when you're trying to aim at a door to get to get that area denied for the enemy, you want to use the Molotov. The only thing about the Molotov is it's a lot less forgiving. You definitely want to be careful that it doesn't just explode in your face. Now, I said the ensign bounces. When I'm on offense, for me, that can be a good thing because I may want to try to bounce it off of a wall to get it into an objective where if I'm not trying to make a direct entry or make direct contact with enemies that are close, I can try to throw that ensign in there and be able to bank it off of a wall. So distance loadout, good old G3 with a 4 power And I got a one power red dot on top. Gives me that versatility if and when I need it. Bipod set up in a little flash hider. Got my quick draw holster. And here for this setup, I went with the M83 smoke grenade. And that is to provide cover if necessary, or concealment when you're out on those maps that are a little bit more wide open. Then that's followed up by the ensign there. And I'm going with a solid ensign because I can bank that off walls if I'm trying to avoid direct entry into a certain room that I know the objectives in. I can throw that ensign in there and hopefully get it to bounce and wait for, if there's any bad guys in there, just wait for them to run out or run somewhere else. Light carrier, light armor on this loadout. As we go down, you see the breacher. I've got everything set up exactly the same way. Distance, assault, defense. Grease gun, basically set up like the assault here, but just a different, that's a different setup. I like to run with that for fun. Advisor, same thing. Defense, distance, assault. And this goes all the way down until you get to Marksman. So the Marksman class, my thought process between these two rifles here is anti-vehicle, that's the M82, and anti-personnel, and that's the M110 SAS here. So this is my anti-personnel rifle. M82 is anti-vehicle. I really like using the M82 anti-vehicle setup here on the bigger maps because they're wide open. You get a lot better angles on those vehicles. The M110 is my setup for your close quarters maps. The point shooting grip attachment gives you that versatility for getting in close, and that coupled with your 20 round magazine, you have a lot of versatility that you bring to the squad. Going back to the M82, I've got extended magazine, gives you 10 rounds, 6 to 3 power red ring scope, and that allows me some of that versatility there if I need it. And for my M82 setup, I went heavy on my sidearm, so I've got the L10 quick draw extended mag, mini green red dot, and again I've got the flashbang grenade in that first slot because if I have to clear a room, I'm probably going to do it with my pistol, unless I just want to go Rambo with the M82, which I do that from time to time too. But usually I'm going to be clearing with my pistol, and so I want that flashbang to be at the top there. I've got a molly for area denial, and I went with a molly for this one because hey, I'm going to be set up. I want a solid strike, a precise strike on a doorway or whatever gap I'm trying to close up. So I want that molly to explode instantly. I don't want to take a chance with the ensign device basically bouncing off of my intended target. So light carrier, light armor with that. So we've got these scopes here, and before we go further into the scopes, we'll get into those a little bit more in depth here in just a second, but we're going to take a look at the rest of my setup here. Gunner, defense, assault, distance. For the assault, I've got the Galil SAR drum magazine, recoil grip pod, gives me that versatility if I need it. I've got the Cobra and a 2-power magnifier on the back of that. Defense. So defense, I've got the M249. That only takes up 3 slots. And I've got all mollies, heavy carrier, heavy armor. And then I've got the distance category. Now, M240B, I've got the extended magazine. So what that does is it's really important that people realize that a lot of the games will be automatically a 100-round box. In this game, they made it a 50-round box. So the extended mag increases each magazine to 100-round capacity. So I'll put that on there. Save that loadout. Go back, confirm. All right. So I've got the laser sight set up so that way if I'm not looking down the optic, I can engage targets that are right up on me if necessary. But for the optic, I have an ACOG 4-power with a 1-power red dot on top of that. Observer, same thought process. Got the Scholastic M16A2 ACOG and a red dot on top of that. That gives me that versatility. Again, I use that word a lot. It gives me that versatility if I need it. Bipod, L10, quick draw holster, extended mag. I've got the flashbang and ensign with that. And then for the assault, very similar to my rifleman, I've got the 1 power Cobra with a 2 power magnifier on that. Gives me that versatility. For this one, I decided to go with the smoke launcher because what that does is it allows you an extra piece of support for the rest of the unit. And instead of using up one of your explosive slots here, you can just add that. Again, pretty much the same thing. I've got the ensign first and a frag second. The reason I went with the frag is because that allows versatility over the rest of the squad. Most other guys will be running your ensigns and mollies, and it's great for certain spots on maps where you know there's a lot of enemies at. Also carries over to the insurgents. See the insurgent side, distance, assault, defense, pretty much the exact same way. The tutorials, and we're going to go to the range. We're going to stick with the M110 SAS, and I'll show you what my thought process on these, on the scopes here.
They need us, come on! Hurry, brothers, yalla!
So this is the 6 power by 3 power scope. And you can see that 3 power brings it down to a level where you can see a lot more. And if you need that extra power, you've got that right there. So that's very versatile there. Now if you press the G key, which showing up for me, your mapping might be different, but for me it's the G key. I go to the laser aim, and right now Insurgency doesn't have canted iron sights. I wish they did, but until they get that, this is the alternative. I use this a lot for my night setups, nighttime setups. This is a lot easier than looking down your sights. When you can see here, when you go to this set, you've got a wide open area that you can see here. Your view is wide open. Then you can go back to your scope if you need to. This can also be done even when you're not sighted. So I'm going to press the G key here for me. All right, so now I've switched views. I'm going to press it again. And now I'm back to my laser aim. It's interesting here, just realized when you press that, your gun comes up a little bit closer. You press the G key again and go to the laser aim pointing, your gun goes away a little bit further, almost like you're looking up higher. And we'll go here to the loadout. There's 3 of them, and for the M10 SAS, there's actually 3 of these, 6 by 3 powers. This is the DOS scope, the red ring, and the T scope. Red ring, I kind of like that. Let's take a look at the DOS scope. I'll show you why I don't like the DOS scope.
Yeah,
look here. Your profile with that scope is it takes a lot more of your screen up. Your regular, your red circle scope, the other 2 are much slimmer, lower profile, and they take up less screen space. And then when you go here to look down your sights, let's see, you've got a little bit more limited vision, especially up top there. So that's one reason why I don't like this particular scope. So we'll go back to the loadout. Let's, where's that at? Red ring. We'll take the T scope, about the same. You can see that a much lower, cleaner profile, and you can see everything out here to your right. Say about your 12, about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock position. And just in case you're wondering, this is what the T scope looks like. Now we're going to spawn some enemies into the map. Before I do that, I'd like to discuss the 2 reloads that you have. If you press the R key, you're going to do a regular reload here, and it takes a little bit more time. And what you're doing is you're re-indexing your magazine. Now, if you press the R key twice, you do what's called a mag dump, and that's basically a quicker reload. When you re-index, you may still have more rounds in that magazine that you can go back to. When you dump it, it's going to be on the ground, and actually you cannot pick these back up.
Cover me!
But it does give you the ability to reload faster. So we'll go ahead and hit the resupply.
Good to go.
All right, so instead of being up there in that little perch, we're going to get down here where we can get closer to the enemy and put to use more of these this laser sight here, this laser aim. See that quick transition there. So there you have it. I hope that this was a useful vid to watch, and maybe you can add some of these quick loadout types to your main loadouts. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you around.